Hi, welcome to Dice Control Dojo. I'm Phil, and I'm practicing daily and sharing my tips so that we can all get better at the casino. We're talking about our specific series of pick your spot today. So, as our previous practices, we talked about how we practice the 9 different zones down there. We talked about how we beanbag practice so that we can hit consistently. We're going to talk about how to pick your spot. So we're going to do the look conversion, how to practice this, and what this means when you're in a casino and why we're doing it at a casino. So on a daily basis, I have my 9 spots so that I'm ready to go and can aim at each of those different spots. So in previous videos, we're talking about getting your dice ready to go, rip and grip, right? Come up and around. Put your pressures down on the bottom of your ledge, and then make sure you're consistently loosening up and relaxing. During that relaxation, as soon as the conversion's going and you've got everything aligned the way you want, and it should be very quickly, that's when your head has to start looking down. So there's a couple things that I do wrong, and I'm consistently doing it wrong, and I catch myself doing it wrong, and I can't stop it. So I practice this because what I'm realizing a lot of times when I was throwing is I'm doing the conversion, I'm looking straight down, right? And then my eyes turn like this, right? So I'm looking sideways down there. I'm trying to pick a spot. So then my head quirks like this. I pick my dice up, and now it's not where I want it. The dice are off to the right. My arm is not swinging where it should be, right? And I'm looking because I'm trying to find a landing zone. I've practiced so much at making sure that my dice are in the same spot, and I'm so concentrated to make sure they're where they are that I'm not paying attention to the fact that if you shoot a gun, right, if your eye aim, I'm a lefty shooter. When I shoot, right, I'm a lefty shooter. So my eye is geared towards left. Well, this eye is looking sideways and down when I'm looking down there, and I should be aiming it where I need that to be. So my practice recently, and I still screw it up, and I'm sorry, but hopefully you learn from my thing, is that which eye is your shooting eye, right? Mine's my left. I'm looking down, and even at this angle right here, I'm at a 45-degree angle. I'm still not upright. I'm not looking down the barrel of a gun the way I should be, right? I should be looking down, picking that zone, because my hand eye is left, left. This should be consistent. So how do I improve that? Well, after I set the dice where I need it to be, like this, and it's right where it should be, now, what does that look like? You got to make sure your head is up. So that's why a lot of times when I said I'm nervous and I put my fingers straight down like this, touching the felt, a lot of times I can't do that, especially at a casino, because there's a lot of variations of things going on. I want to make sure I'm upright. I'm up, right? I'm looking over, but I want to give my head the sense that I'm aiming that right where I want it to be. And if my head is over and I'm looking this way, there's no way I'm going to be able to aim and hit that target. So for my practice, that's going to be consistently making sure that I'm looking straight down. Now, I'm not at 100% 90 degrees. I'm not upright like if I was shooting a gun, right? I'd be all off. So if you want to aim at a target, you have to make sure your head is consistently up and it's pointed down there so that you're aiming right at the ball, at the target. So pay attention to that. A lot of people miss that, and I see a lot of people that lean over like this, and if that's fine if you're leaning over, because can you keep your head consistently up? With the way I throw, it's harder. So that's when I'm bringing my shoulder in and I'm looking, right? It's important to get that eye looking at that target and not at an angle. Because otherwise, if I'm looking over like this and I'm aiming, I really can't see where I'm going. So bring yourself way up. You want to be looking down at the target. As soon as you're gripping that dice and you have it right where you want it to be, that's when you make sure your head is looking straight down at the right angle and you can see where you want to throw. So it's going to that consistent spot. Now, I practiced the 9 and I noticed that that's a lot of the look, is making sure that I'm setting my head to the right place so when I throw it, I'm hitting the target I want. And you have to practice at different levels, because when you're way out here at a casino, say you're way out here, is your head consistently looking to where you want it to go? So this is another variation that a lot of people don't discuss. When you're shooting, it would almost be better, in future, that if I'm aiming this way, right, if I'm throwing this way, I can see forward. So is this throw a better throw for me because I can see lefty to lefty? Am I blowing your mind? I don't know. I've been doing this and I am able to aim it where I want. I just got to make sure my back is straight and my head is up. So when I'm looking at the target, I can hit it. All right? So when you're talking about shooting in your aimed eye, you have to make sure your eye is centered so you can throw it. So now when you're practicing, just make sure when you're picking your spot, right? What are you aiming for? What's your spot? You have to be looking at your spot. My daughter took horseback riding lessons, and it was always fascinating to me that in horseback riding, it's where you're on the horse, it's where you're looking is where the horse is going to go. The horse can see behind, and if they see your head turning this way, they're going to go that way. If it's turning this way, it's going to go that way. So your body and your arms are going to do exactly what your aim is. Where your eye contact is in that zone is important. So if you're already worried and you're sitting here concentrating on this and you're just throwing and you're not aiming, the dice are going to go wherever they want. But if your eyes are pointed where you want it to go and you consistently are looking at that spot, your muscle memory is going to hit that spot every time. So you need to make sure that the last thing you do when you get this set and you're about to rip and grip, I use my core, I get my back up so my head is concentrated, I get my aim eye looking at where I want it to go, and I'm doing that. But it has to be fast. You have to be fast at this. So it has to be a rip and grip. So as soon as you're getting that dice set the way you want it, and you're sitting over, you're already looking. You're done with this. This part is done. Now you're looking at where you're going to throw, and you're hitting it. So that's the consistency of the aimed eye and where you got to go. Just like in horseback, where your head is, where your eye is looking, are where these dice are going to go. And if you practice that every day and make sure you're doing that, you're going to have consistent throws, and they're going to go the way you want them. So take this to heart, that this is a very important part, picking your spot and making sure you're able to sharpshoot where you want it to go. And in a casino, you might have to vary from where your normal throw is. And you got to make sure you're able to sharpshoot that area, because there may be chips over there, there may be don'ts over there, don't players over there, and you want to make sure you're throwing it in an angle and a spot that makes you money. So I hope you enjoyed this video, making sure that your look conversion is right, how you practice it, and hopefully you were shocked on how your aim is and how your aim strategy is. Are you upright? Take a picture of it. See if you do. See if your head is over. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the back throw. The back, how I just do a nice little back. It's going to be a video about how this back swing and why we do it and how we consistently make it good. So join me tomorrow where we talk about the back throw, specific practice. And as always, we practice every day so that we can throw for a long, long time.